are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Healthy Germantown. I'm your host, Will Kassner. We're back on the road this month, and our goal here is simple: to highlight ways that you can live a happy, healthy, and active lifestyle. Today we are here at Farmington Soccer Fields with our good friend Brett Borm to talk about HappyFeet Soccer. Brett, thanks for stopping by.
Yes, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about HappyFeet Soccer.
So HappyFeet is a way to introduce kids to soccer through story time with a soccer ball. So the soccer ball is our tool, and we tell stories. And through those stories, we're captivating their minds. We're going on great adventures, but in the meantime, we're also getting tons of touches on the ball, and we're also building healthy exercise habits.
Right, so it's kind of like tricking the kids to learn.
In a way, yes, in a way, but it's a sport, and a lot of times, this is ages 2 to 5. It's the first time they get to play soccer, so they're excited to put on that soccer shirt. They're excited to have their own soccer ball, and they're excited to score goals and learn tricks that we teach them.
Right, it's a blast. I know our kids have participated, and just putting on the soccer socks and the cleats is a monumental moment that they just love.
Yes, it's a whole new world. The shin guards, that's a new thing. The cleats is a new thing. All of it is a new thing, and the whole point of HappyFeet, especially in our league on Saturdays, is just to create an atmosphere where they love it. And we want them to love it, and if they do, we want them to return. We want them to keep playing soccer, and most importantly, we want them to play soccer at home with mom and dad.
Right, so what are some ways, how do we get involved in HappyFeet?
So you would just register online at memphishappyfeet.com. You of course can check out our Facebook sites, our Twitter sites, and our Instagram sites, but you would just sign your kid up. You can call me. I'm always answering my phones. And I will tell you, and I have all the time in the world just to talk about soccer and answer any question that you might have about it. But all it is it's a Saturday program once a week. It's an hour long. We are also in schools in the Germantown area and greater Memphis area, and we go into schools and we teach it in a 30-minute class. But for our Saturday program that we do in Germantown at the soccer complex, at Germantown Soccerplex, it's on Saturday, so it's very convenient. Saturday mornings, usually parents don't have anything going on a Saturday morning. It's a 7-week program during the fall or the spring or even the summer as well. But that's all you got to do. Contact Coach Brett. Easy peasy. Yes.
So what are some of the benefits from a health standpoint of being involved in HappyFeet Soccer?
Well, first off, for the child, for the two-year-old to 5-year-old, the benefits mentally, it's huge. The cognitive things that go behind it, but also the exercise habits that we're trying to build. We get them active in an hour. You know, and in that hour, they are moving, constantly moving. We're burning their energy, but we're also teaching them ways to move as well. You know, we're standing on our toes, we're jumping around, we're running, we're going fast, we're going slow, we're stopping, but we're also teaching them ways to stretch. But we're not just counting to 10 to stretch. We've got them going through swamps and the jungles and acting like animals. And in the meantime, they're lunging, they're hopping, they're stretching their hamstrings, and they don't even know it. They know it might hurt a little bit, but we tell them to keep on going, and it's good for you.
Yeah, so. And you also involve the parents too, right?
Yes, we involve the parents, and we actually have a new program that's a parent-involved curriculum for the Tiny Twos program, which is the youngest program that we start at. But we try to educate parents. I think parents are the key to soccer development, and in anything they do in life, parents are going to be key, and especially for the ages 2 to 5. Who is the biggest influence? It's not the coach.
Right.
It's what you're doing at home with your child. You know, little Timmy, he wants to look up to dad or mom doing a step over, doing a pullback. So we try to show you what to do in our leagues and how easy it is and do the basics. And they go home, and we want mom and dad to influence and encourage them by, hey, this is what we're going to do today. Play. We're not asking, it's not homework. Just play with a soccer ball at your feet, yes.
Yeah. Great program for the kids and the parents, for sure. Now, today, you've got a couple things that you're going to demonstrate for us, right?
Yes.
A little bit of a HappyFeet preview.
Yes.
So let's see what you got.
Yeah, so we usually start out our first our first time going around, like I said, we do our stretches and we tell them what the story of the day is. So if we're gonna go to Soccer Town, what's in Soccer Town, everybody? And we talk about things. We let the kids be creative and use their imagination. A popular one is, I wanna go to the zoo. So the first thing we do, I was like, all right, let's hop in our car and let's go to the zoo. And so we'll turn on our seatbelts, we do lots of sound effects, and then we always say the first key in soccer is to always say, stop, Bob. So you're putting your foot on top of Bob.
Now this is Bob.
This is Bob the Bobcat, I'm sorry. So our soccer ball is part of the storyline. It's Bob the Bobcat. And Bob the Bobcat he takes us on our adventures.
He's our leader.
So if a 2 to 5 year old doesn't know what a soccer ball is, but they know what Bob the Bobcat is,
that's right.
we're doing
You're
fine.
good.
But what we do, so we're gonna get in our car and we're gonna go to the zoo. So we have to get there first. We don't just go right into the zoo. We gotta start our car. So we start the car like that.
Yep.
And then we say,
Buckle
green light, go. And everybody knows the red light, green light. We're not in straight lines. We actually want traffic because we're thinking, we're moving. And when I say go, we do our TikToks. So when we do our TikToks, we go slow at first, especially for the younger ones. We always say Bob in the middle. Bob's in the middle of our 2 feet. And then we say, all right, little tiny kicks between your feet. And we start walking Bob. Under control.
Come on, Bob.
Watch out for the traffic.
Let's go,
Beep,
Bob.
beep. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Red light, stop, stop, Bob. Foot on the brake. And sound effects are huge.
Slow it down.
And then we add lights. We add silly lights as well. But then after that, I think I see a sign for the zoo. Are you ready to go to the zoo? And we start naming, hey, what's your favorite animal? What animal do you want to see? So we use their mind. A famous animal in HappyFeet is the soccer penguin. So the first thing we do, again, using the TikToks like we did on Greenlight, we do the soccer penguin. And we ask them, where does a penguin? We ask them, what color is a penguin? Does a penguin fly? And then we say, now, can you play soccer like a penguin? So what you will do, say Bob in the middle, but get your penguin wings on the side. Instead of saying TikToks, we're saying waddle, 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 and stop. And then have you ever seen a fast penguin play soccer?
Ooh,
How do you think a fast penguin plays soccer? And every kid who's not even played before can tell you what a fast penguin does, and they just go faster. So they go waddle, 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 and stop.
Yep.
And then the next animals we would see is kangaroo. So we hop with the ball between our feet. So working on the plyometrics is the science term for it, but we're hopping with our ball and keeping our ball close to our feet always.
Yeah.
And then we get really silly at times just to make sure we're hearing laughs as well.
Right.
And
the
then,
kids eat it up.
Yes. And then we like to keep our games going, to keep their imagination going, keep them engaged. If you stick on one activity, for a 2-year-old, it's gonna get boring. So we move on to the next one. So we leave the zoo.
Right.
We might return back to the zoo, but the big thing is play. Like I said in the beginning,
Right.
play, play, play. And then a thing that we also do, especially with the younger ones, is we like to sing songs. And kids know nursery rhymes, they know songs.
And they like to sing.
They like to sing too. I have to use my awesome voice to get them going, and sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's low. But for example, this is what we do. Everybody knows Wheels on the Bus, and I'll ask you, does everybody know what Wheels on the Bus? Does everybody know that song?
Yes.
And they'll be like, yes, they love it. But guess what, everybody? We're not on a bus. What are we on? And they look at me, yes, we're on a soccer field. And so we look around, we're on a soccer field. So let's sing about being on a soccer field. And so with my awesome voice,
I'm sure it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I start them all to stand up like a soccer player. So we stop Bob, and we just start singing. And at first they don't know the song, but believe it or not, they learn it really easily because they're familiar with the sounds and the song. So another skill that we learn is toe taps. One of the most basic skills to learn at the earliest ages. Toe taps, the ball's underneath my foot. We get them to do that, just little tiny taps on Bob's head, and we start singing. The kids on the field, they do their toe taps. They do their toe taps. They do their toe taps. And stop and see if they're singing.
Yeah.
And then we keep going. The kids on the field, they do their toe taps up and down the field. So, and that's kind of the storyline that we go on. We also have lots of topical stories that are themed around TV shows and movies that the kids love, like Finding Nemo. Paw Patrol is a favorite right now.
That's one of my favorites, I'll tell you what.
And I have a 7-month-old, and now I'm starting to find myself watching more of these brilliant shows on TV, and I'm picking up things as well, and I know the kids want that. And when you get to go to play soccer, talk about Paw Patrol or PJ Masks and defeating the villains in PJ Masks, like Romeo, Luna Girl, And Night Ninja, still getting used to them. It's even better.
Right. Everybody's having fun.
Yes.
Well, Brett, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for showing us all about HappyFeet. I look forward in being involved this spring, and I hope other kids and parents are involved as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to. Well, that's a wrap here at the soccer fields. When we come back, we will meet at Breakaway Running to talk about some of their new 2018 programs.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Healthy Germantown. We are here at Breakaway Running with our good friend Bryan Roberson. Bryan, thanks for letting us stop by today.
Thanks for coming by.
So tell us a little bit about Breakaway Running. What do you guys do?
So we're a specialty running store, but it's kind of a common misconception that we only do running. So people that are walking, that just need good footwear to work in, we do foot and gait analysis to fit people to the best shoes that fit their needs.
Yeah, so talk about the shoe analysis a little bit. You know, typically I'll get on Amazon and be like, oh, hey, that one's got cool colors. I think it's right for me, but what are the pros of what you guys do?
We try to tell people that, you know, shoe color is not the best way to choose shoes, you know. Hopefully they like them if the way they look. But so what we do, we always ask people to bring in old shoes so we can see a lot from wear pattern, because that doesn't lie. And if you're walking, we'll want you to walk barefoot, do a few arch flexibility tests, and just ask you questions about what you're doing. And I always tell people the more feedback that they give us, the better fit they're going to get, because we're shoe nerds, so we can tell them everything they want to know about the shoes, but only they can tell us how they feel.
Right,
and so,
right.
And if you're a runner, we're going to watch you run and do a few different tests to figure out what's going to work best for you.
Yeah, so when you leave here, you have the best shoe that money can buy in terms of how it fits and how it works.
Yeah, and it's not, always the most expensive shoe is not going to be the best shoe for everyone.
Right.
And everyone is different, so we always get a lot of people that come in that say, my friend runs in this shoe, so I should get this, but everyone's feet are different, so it's really good to get someone to take a look and see what's best for them.
Yeah, so coming into 2018, you know, we're really trying to promote wellness and getting people involved in new things. What are some, I guess, tips or advice that you would give to people who have never really ventured into the walking, running world?
Start slow. It's the best thing. The number one issue that people have is too much too fast with walking or running. They get into it and they think more is better. So instead of doing maybe 3 days a week, they start doing 5-6 days a week. And rest and recovery is the best thing you can do with anything that's an endurance sport, whether it's walking, running, cycling. And get fit for shoes. A lot of people will wear whatever shoes they've had.
Yep.
And they have foot problems. Most people buy shoes that are too small. So in an athletic shoe that you're gonna be walking and running in, your feet will swell, so you wanna get about a half size to a full size up from what you wear in your casual shoes. So people always complain about feet going numb, toes hurting. Yeah, so it's really taking a look at that so you don't, you wanna start off on the right foot.
Right, no pun intended.
Right.
So as far as sticking with it, starting slow is a good way to begin, but as far as continuing that pattern of exercise and pushing yourself to new frontiers, do you have any tips on that?
So, I mean, we promote a lot of group runs, getting out with other people. It's hard on your own as getting started.
Yeah.
And so we have multiple groups. We have a Wednesday night group here from the Germantown store that meets, that has everyone that's from walking to running as far as you want to go. And that just helps motivation getting out there and, meeting up with people makes it a little bit more fun. But the first couple weeks are going to be the hardest, and then building into that habit. And then
once it gets kind of regular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk a little bit more about the group runs, and I've heard some new things that you guys have coming up on the horizon. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, so we have multiple group runs. They're in different locations. The Wednesday night run is here, but we have Monday nights, Tuesday mornings, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, and then we do a marathon training group for St. Jude. That usually starts in June. But we're trying to start some walking groups here in Germantown. We're waiting for a little bit nicer weather. It's been kind of icy.
Kind of chilly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So probably start in March and be 2 days a week here from the store. And it's just going to really be pushed towards people who haven't walked before or want to join a group that are just looking to get started, and kind of a lot of people are intimidated to go out to call something a group run if it's their first time. They don't want to be in the back. They don't want to be the slowest, holding anyone back. And this is just going to be for anyone who just wants to take their first steps out.
Yeah, but there's a huge benefit to that group run mentality, because you do make new friends, you build community, and you really get a lot out of it, more than just the run.
Yeah. I mean, anyone that comes in, and I tell them to come out and just try it, because everyone that comes there, it's a really inviting group. And whether you're, slower, faster, everyone's kind of experiencing the same thing. So and then we do free beer here too at our Wednesday night runs, so people stick around
helps, right?
and talk after. So, but yeah, it's a great group of people to be around, just in any kind of like fitness community. So.
Yeah. Well, good deal. So, any last summarization thoughts that you have for us, for the Germantownians, as far as getting out there and getting involved in 2018?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good things to train for, whether there's the Germantown Half and 5K coming up. Just getting out there, creating a goal and signing up for something. Come out to some group runs, just try it out. Come by just to have a beer at 6 and see and talk to the people that are doing it. Really just take that first step out and see how it goes.
Yeah, so lots to benefit from here at Breakaway Running. Thanks for letting us stop by, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Well, that's all the time we have here today. When we come back, we will be with the 1972 800-meter gold medalist, Dave Wottle.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Healthy Germantown. We are here with our brand new segment called Get to Know Your Neighbor. Today we have a very special guest, Olympic gold medalist Dave Wottle. Dave, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Will. Pleasure to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your story as an Olympic gold medalist.
Well, I was in the Munich Olympics back in 1972, and it was, in my mind, there was a lot of great memories. I had run in the Olympic trials prior to the Olympics to qualify, and a surprise to me is I tied the world record in the 800 meters. So I was really going into the Olympics with my goal of winning the 1500 meters, which is, I always consider myself a miler. So what a shock to tie the world record in the 800, an event I really wasn't planning on competing in. So it all of a sudden became my #1 focus in the Olympics. And then just prior to the Olympics, about 6 weeks before, when I was training for the games, I developed an injury in my left knee. I got tendonitis, and my mileage was cut from 70 to 80 miles a week to nothing 5 and 6 weeks before the Olympics. So I went into the Olympics underprepared. And then in the Olympic race, where I won the gold medal, I found myself after the first 200 meters about 10 meters behind the pack. I wasn't feeling good. They went out very quickly, and it was just kind of a battle for me to try to regain contact with the back of the pack and get into a pre-race strategy, and then finally in the last 100 meters try to kick down the leaders.
Really kick it in gear.
It was trying. You know, a lot of people think that I was kicking and running so fast in the last 100 meters, but actually it was an optical illusion because the other runners went out so quickly at the beginning of the race.
Kind of slowing down?
They were slowing down, and I was maintaining the same pace, so it was all, it looked like there was a kick. But my wife don't tell people that, just say you got a devastating kick and you ran them down rather than they were dying.
Right. Just beat them out. Right. Exactly.
Right.
So what's it like in that moment to know, you know, come down the home stretch knowing that you're going to win the gold medal, or did you know?
I did not know. Yeah, at the top of the stretch, I was in 4th place, so I didn't even have a medal. And all I was trying to do at that point in time was catch the first Kenyan runner, Robert Uku, and get a bronze medal. And I was able to catch Robert about halfway down the home stretch, and then I quickly reevaluated my goals, and I said, I'm going to go after a silver medal. But I really didn't try for a gold medal until 5 meters, 10 meters from the finish line, and at that point, Arzhanov, who was leading the race from Russia, really started to falter, and I thought I might have had a chance at a gold medal, but it wasn't until right near the very end
that you went for it.
Yeah, and actually the race itself, the difference between myself and Arzhanov was 0.03 of a second, so humanly you couldn't even tell the difference.
Photo finish.
It was a photo finish. It was the closest race in Olympic 800-meter history. And so I thought I had won, but he had fallen right over the finish line. And so, you know, you have that peripheral vision. I didn't sense anybody next to me. And I thought I had won, but I could have just as easily lost.
Right.
The race. So
Well, that's awesome. To bring home the gold.
It was pretty exciting.
Quite a moment. And I'm sure it sticks with you, right?
It does. I've told people when I talk about the Olympics now that there's very seldom a day goes by where I don't think back to that Olympic moment. It's really that special for an Olympic athlete. It's something that's burned into your psyche, and you just kind of, I bring it up quite often. Yeah.
Now, I would imagine as an Olympic athlete, there's quite a routine of physical fitness, of exercise, of preparation.
Yeah.
How does that kind of translate into like a practical, healthy lifestyle?
Well, running is very much translates into a healthy lifestyle. Road running has gotten to be such a huge sport nowadays. Back when I was starting out in the 70s, you could almost never find a marathon being offered. There are very few marathons that people could get in. There are very few half marathons or even 5Ks. It was just starting to come up. In fact, my roommate in the Olympic Games was a runner by the name of Frank Shorter, who won the marathon in '72. And he and Bill Rogers, and Bill was just here in Memphis about a month ago, were the two that really started the road running craze in the United States back in the mid-'70s, because Bill was a 3-time winner of the Boston Marathon. Frank Shorter was an Olympic gold medalist in the marathon, so those two really had a lot of clout and started a lot of these 5Ks and half marathons and the like. Excuse me. And so, now it's such a popular sport, and people have found the value of running, and they enjoy it so much. There's excuse me. There's not much more fun than going out to a road run. I think runners are just so open, and you see such a wide range of socioeconomic, of race and running. It's just a great group of individuals that get together and enjoy one another and enjoy running.
For sure. So what would you have any advice for somebody that just kind of wants to get started in the running business?
Well, the most important thing is to start slow. A lot of times you'll get that urge and you'll say, I think I'm going to go out and run 3 miles or 4 miles, and you end up with an injury and you can't run
yourself
for a couple of weeks. So you got to really start out very, very slow. And another runner back in '72 that was did a good job was Jeff Galloway, and Jeff has written a number of books on Galloway on running. His is a great book for beginners, because he'll show you the kind of workouts that you can do to slowly and gradually move up to where you can compete in a 5K, for instance. So
Right.
usually you don't want to go out and say, I'm going to run to Boston.
Yeah,
I'm
because you're
going
not
to
going
try
to
out
make
for
it.
the Olympics. You'll
Right.
never make it. It's
Right.
just the goal is too far away from where you are physically. So it's a step-by-step process. You set smaller goals. I want to run a fun run,
Yeah.
a mile fun run. I want to do a 5K. And then you gradually
Kinda
grow
grow
your
into it.
workouts to be able to do that. Your body, just like anything else, your body has to become accustomed to the training routine.
Yeah, to what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So last but not least, nowadays, as a former Olympic athlete, what are some ways that you stay healthy in this phase of your life?
Well, for a number of years, since I've always loved basketball. Basketball, a lot of people would think running's my favorite sport.
Yeah.
I love basketball. And I loved it ever since I was in high school and shooting around on the playgrounds. And so I played basketball up until about 6 months ago with a group of guys. Started out at Germantown United Methodist Church back in the early 90s and played there for probably about 15, 16 years. And then recently we've had a group at Kirby Woods Baptist and other locations that we'll go to and play. We're playing twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. But recently I've had some knee problems and hip problems, and I've had to back off of that. But I love hiking. I love yard work. I've started doing biking. Biking's a great alternative to running because you have a lot less pressure on your joints.
Right.
And running, there's quite a bit of weight going down on your ankles, knees, hips. So swimming and biking are usually good alternatives. I haven't done swimming yet. I got to tell you, I was in a competition for superstars back in the 70s, and it was televised on ABC nationally, and I can remember in swimming, first of all, I had to come out, and I'm this skinny white guy in a Speedo swimming suit on national TV. And then I jumped in to swim, and of course, I just about drowned, and it was all for everybody to see. So it was a humbling experience, and I've never really taken up swimming.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
that.
Well, Dave, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the advice. It's good to hear your story, and glad that you're a part of Germantown.
Thank you, Will. Pleasure.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank all my guests for being on the show with us, and I'd also like to thank you, the viewer, for watching. If you'd like more information about Healthy Germantown or any other of the shows on Germantown Municipal Television, please visit www.gmtvonline.org. We'll see you next time, and stay healthy, G-Town.